How do I know that Rachel Weisz is a lesbian icon? Because there are a lot of sapphics that want Rachel to rail them, step on them, and run them over. If I were to sum up her appeal, I think this reductress article says it all with the headline, "Woman cozily cupping mug, secretly thinking about getting absolutely railed by Rachel Weisz." Because what woman, sapphic or not, would not want to be railed by Rachel Weisz? The fervency of people, mostly women, to be harmed by her in some way became an entire internet trend, ignited by Rachel's sapphic outings in the last half-decade, although her appeal to the gays goes much further back than that with The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. Let's take a look at the rise of Rachel Weisz as a lesbian icon and explore just what it is about her and stars like her that seem to get us all hot under the collar, while others, in spite of their sapphic roles, don't seem to reach the same heights.
I'm very proud of that film. I think it's a lovely movie, so I'm glad someone else likes it too.
Rachel's breakout role was Evelyn on The Mummy. She was a smart, adventurous, beautiful librarian, and that alone was enticing enough. But her role in the film is not just to add a bit of romance for the himbo Rick, the good-natured, muscled hero. She had her own agency, a kick-ass attitude, and wielded a sword, which, despite the Spice Girls female empowerment movement of the 90s, was in short supply on our screens. Further to that, it seems that the combination of Evelyn and Rick has led the film and its sequel, The Mummy Returns, to be unofficially claimed as a bi film because of the bi awakenings it precipitated as a result of the two lovable leads. Love to see it.
Oh, am I attracted to this? No. Am I? No.
She also possesses a certain air about her that I will discuss later that I think had more than a little to do with it. The Mummy Returns offers up something extra tantalizing for the sapphic viewers in the shape of the charged fight between Ankh Soo Namun, played by, at the time, closeted lesbian actress Patricia Velasquez, and Beverly. It comes in the form of a flashback to an ancient time, and within that little segment, a whole world of possibility is hinted at. There is a fiery charge between the two women as they hold that rather suggestive position. And then later, as Beverly watches Ankh Soo Namun from afar, my mind can't help imagining it is the jealous gaze of a jilted lover. My question is, has someone written fanfic for these two? As I only saw these movies recently, I can't speak to the impact it had at the time, but I can see the appeal of both films and Rachel in them. Perhaps it's for this reason she then ended up being voted the sexiest woman in the newspaper The Sun in 2009, beating out fellow lesbian icon Cate Blanchett by quite a bit. It was the same year that she did an interview and proclaimed that she wouldn't mind being a lesbian icon and would like to do more gay roles. It took her a while to get there though. She did dabble in the gay as the sexy seductress in Definitely Maybe, where she plays a bisexual, but given how it's used in the storyline, it's not a reason to watch it, and pales in comparison to her later queer roles. It wasn't until Rachel took the bulls by the horn and started actively looking for a juicy role to play that she played gay again.
I'm lucky at this point in my career in that I can choose jobs. I think when I started out, everything was interesting. And now not everything's interesting to me. There are some things that I really want to lean into, certain kinds of stories, and that's a lot of fun.
I was searching for material that I could be in, and I thought it would be really great if there were two female parts, really good female parts. And so I read a lot of lesbian literature in my pursuit of that.
While Rachel was already on some sapphic ladies' radars, her popular rise to lesbian icon began with the release of Disobedience in 2017 at the Toronto International Film Festival, and was about the story of two childhood lovers who reunited when Ronit's rabbi father dies and she comes back for the funeral. I have a link in the title cards for a review of the film. Quite besides the fact that she, as she confesses multiple times, read a lot of lesbian fiction in pursuit of a role she wanted to play, she executive produced the film. She also made an immense talking point out of the love scenes she and Rachel McAdams had together that inspired a YouTube video about how Rachel is giving the gays what they want.
Is it different making a scene with another woman than it would have been with a man?
It was much less stubbly, much softer, incredibly emotional. It was romantic, it was spiritual, it was passionate, it was full of heart and longing. It wasn't just sex.
And she spoke passionately a number of times about the love scene, which alone recommends her to us sapphics.
Does it ever bother you that everybody is talking about the sex scene between the two women in the film?
In this instance, no. In this instance, for me, the love scene is kind of the heart and soul of the movie, and it's about desire and spirit and becoming who you really are and loving who you really want to love. And I think it's very important. So we can talk about it all you like.
I mean, she's very easy to be in love with. I mean, she's a beautiful, beautiful person inside and out.
No, that love scene really did something.
A year later, she took on another Sapphic turn in The Favourite, a historical dark comedy looking at power, politics and love surrounding Queen Anne, Sarah Churchill and Abigail Masham, when Abigail becomes Sarah's rival for Queen Anne's favour. Sapphic seemed to particularly take to the outfit Rachel wore during her standoff with Emma Stone, as we do love a good suit on a commanding lady, and let's just say she wields the gun with authority. It was following this second film that the most well-known Rachel Weisz meme arose from the spoof website Reductress in January 2019, which quickly made the rounds of social media. Around this time, The Hollywood Reporter released an actress roundtable with Rachel Weisz and Kathryn Hahn in it, and this led to the fan video that cut all the moments where Kathryn Hahn looked longingly at Rachel, set to the soundtrack of Carol, which seemed to sum up the kind of unfettered adoration her fans were feeling for her.
It looks like I'm madly in love with her. And I am. How can you not be?
Weeks after the Reductress headline, Rachel appeared on the red carpet for the Oscars with this red dress, sporting a latex top, and I am led to understand that it caused something of a sapphic frenzy. The fandom had Rachel fever and, like other celebrities before her, had legions of women who wanted her to step on them, run them over, and perform other violent acts. While the request is tongue-in-cheek and seems to be about expressing the violence of their affection for a celebrity, it has been suggested the emergence of this kind of language is the result of dark, fatalistic humor arising from the awareness that our world is dying, married with a general horniness for beautiful celebrities, at least according to the article in The New Yorker. That may be so, but it's not every celebrity that gets this treatment, and at least in my little corner of the internet, not something I've seen happen to quite the same level as with Rachel Weisz. So it bodes the question, why? Why is it that Rachel Weisz and Cate Blanchett have me making videos about them as lesbian icons, but not, say, Rachel McAdams or Rooney Mara, the latters having played gay too opposite our lesbian icons no less? Why has our fervence not spilled over to them? Rooney Mara was even the bisexual lead in the US version of Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, a bisexual character, and Rachel McAdams has also dabbled in queer-coded work. It seems illogical that they have not garnered the same fervent Sapphic fanbase, right? Further to that, we have actual queer actors out there who are ripping hard for us, the likes of Kristen Stewart, Kate McKinnon and Ellie Liebert, the latter of whom has played gay more than any other actress I know of. While they do have dedicated Sapphic fan bases, somehow they don't seem to have achieved the heights that either Kate or Rachel have. And look, I don't have a definitive answer here, it's just a curious phenomenon that we uphold straight actresses over equally talented Sapphic ones, and the following reason why are just my musings, but I think there are a few factors that play into this. Firstly, if you compare Cate Blanchett and Rachel Weisz's trajectory to lesbian icon, there are some uncanny similarities. Both were in films with an unabashed lesbian love story at the centre within a couple of years of each other, both gaining critical acclaim. Both were in films that looked at the repression of these women and their sexualities while living in a restrictive society. They then have gone on to play queer again, using these roles as a way to explore flawed and complex women characters outside of the prism of the male experience. They are both acclaimed actresses in their own rights, with major awards under their belts and with a robust filmography separate from their queer work, and therefore hold considerable status in the industry. And I think there is a certain allure to having powerful, attractive straight women who seem to give a damn about us when they don't have to. I guess it feels like a validation of our identities by the mainstream, and both women showed an enthusiasm for the lesbian narrative, providing not just validation or fodder for memes, but making us question their sexuality even for just a moment because of this wholesale enthusiasm. There may also be an element of internalized homophobia too. But, and I think this is the true key here, they both possess a graceful masculine energy that merges in just such a way with their femininity. They have a certain vibe. As Guy Lodge, a film critic, was quoted as saying, "There has always been an independent, self-possessed quality even to her romantic leads that could read as queer in its rejection of patriarchal power." Or as I tend to think of it, it's a blend of confidence, intelligence, and how she exudes a certain type of sexuality that makes us absolutely believe that she could top you. And nothing against against the Rachel McAdams and Rooney Maras. They are fabulous, but they don't possess the je ne sais quoi that is the queer kryptonite of the Kates and the Rachels. Neither are there many acclaimed straight actresses going around consciously producing content that has queer narratives the way that Rachel Weisz has. Saran Jones is the only one who comes to mind, with her making Gentleman Jack and Vigil in the last few years. Rachel has done this too, not just once with Disobedience, but twice now with her latest Amazon Prime show, Dead Ringers, an absolutely delightful, twisted tale which has multiple fabulous queer characters in it. Who should I look at next in this series? Until next time, lady lovers.